Well, good morning, my friend. Monday morning, here we are in my office. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. Hope you had a good weekend. We had a wonderful weekend here at Maranatha Baptist Church, and God certainly blessed. Filled auditorium. I'm not going to say packed, but it was filled. And last night, another great service. Last night, and people saved, people baptized in both services. And I'm always excited to see God do the work as only He can. And I'm looking forward to this week as everybody gets back in rhythm. Now, I want to encourage you, wherever you are, I want to encourage you. You stay in rhythm during the holidays. Don't you miss services. On Christmas Sunday, you make sure that you're in church all day long. Don't miss for Christmas. It's about Christ. Let's keep Christ in Christmas. Let's do our part. Let's make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do during this month. And as the world focuses on Christmas, let's keep Christ as the forefront and tell as many people as you can about Christ. And I know the Lord will be pleased with that. Well, today I want to talk to you about going from ineffective to effective. The scripture says in John chapter 5, verses 7 and 8, the impotent man answered him, "Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed and walk." Now, for 38 years, this impotent man was ineffective. This man was ineffective because he had no man to carry him to the pool when the water was troubled. But Jesus came his way and turned this ineffective man into an effective witness for Christ by healing his body. Now, all the impotent man had to do to become effective in life was to trust Jesus enough, get this now, to rise up and walk. Sadly, many churches are filled with ineffective believers. Your desire as a believer, whether you are a pastor of a church or a church member, should be to be an effective person for Christ. You see, one reason this world is going to hell is because of ineffective believers. As a preacher, I don't want my sermons to be ineffective. As a believer, I don't want my life to be ineffective in the ministry. As a church member, I don't want to be ineffective in my church. Many churches are ineffective, not because God won't do the miraculous through them, but because of ineffective believers who won't do what it would take to become effective. Now, when you look at the story from the verse I just read to you, you find there's four things you have to do to become effective for Christ. First, you must stop looking for help from no other than God. For 38 years, this impotent man looked to become effective by others helping him. But Christ was the only one who made him effective. Now, you be ineffective as long as you wait for others to do things for you. God is the only one who can truly take an effective believer to influence others for Christ. All the talent, education, and zeal will do nothing for you if God is not involved in your life. You'll become effective for Christ when you get God involved in your life by walking with Him daily in His Word and prayer. Second, stop sitting and doing nothing. You cannot be effective for Christ if you're doing nothing. The impotent man had to rise up before he became effective. Most churches are ineffective because they're filled with believers who sit instead of going. You see, you never become effective until you get up and start doing something for God. Listen to me. How in the world are you going to do something if you're just sitting? Now, third, have faith that God can do the miraculous. God told the impotent man, He says, "Take up thy bed." Now, that's an act of faith by the impotent man. I believe this man would not have been healed had he not picked up his bedding. You see, you must have faith to be effective for Christ. Waiting for others to help you before you do something for God does not take faith. So many are ineffective in the Christian life because they never attempt anything by faith. Faith is the catalyst that makes you effective in the ministry and life, because it is faith that truly changes the mediocre into the miraculous. So you've got to say, okay, I have the faith that God can do the miraculous. Whatever he tells me to do, I'm going to do it. Fourth, take a step on faith. In other words, jump out and attempt the miraculous by faith. You'll never know what God will do through you to make you effective until you step out on faith to attempt the miraculous. Stepping out on faith is attempting impossible. And attempting it, listen to me, the way that God said to take it. It's saying, I'm faith, and by doing God's work the way that he tells me to do it. He told this man, take up that bed. Now he said, rise up, take up thy bed. Let's say the man rose up and didn't take up the bed. He wasn't going to see the miraculous. Why? It's following everything that God says to do that makes the miraculous happen. Now, it's up to us whether we're going to be effective or not. God's already shown us the plan on how to be effective, but we have to implement it in our lives to be effective. You can be an effective person for Christ if you just say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to follow God. I'm going to follow what he tells me to do. I'm going to be a soul winner. I'm going to walk with God. I'm going to pray. I'm going to be faithful to church. I'm going to be involved in ministry. That's what it takes, my friend, to be effective for Christ. Now, don't waste your life by being ineffective. You desire to be effective. And if you're not, then can I tell you, you do everything in your power to become effective. Say, well, I want God to do something. Yeah, and desire it and work for it and attempt it and learn everything you can from those who God has placed over you, so that way you can become effective for Christ with your life. The greatest life is not the one who made the most money, who has the biggest houses, who has the fanciest cars. The greatest life is the life that has become effective for Christ and affected others for Jesus Christ. I hope that's what you strive to do. Well, my friend, hope that today you have a wonderful day. Now let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great Monday, my friend.